So from that portion of Compassion Sunday, we are going to continue with this in a panel interview that we're doing with a group, 4 of them, of the 9 that went off to Uganda for 2.5 weeks and talked to them about what they experienced and what God did while they were there and in them and all these things, and just getting an idea of what it looks like of what we do when we send our people across the globe, right? What we want is a report, right? We've been supporting them financially through our prayers and so forth, and we want to hear what's the great things that God has been doing while you were away. And so we're going to do that with this crew. Does that sound good to you? Some of them are like, yeah, this is not a bad idea at all. All right, let's go around and introduce yourselves so I don't mess up names or anything.
Sure. Steve Kimberling.
Ethan.
Madeline.
Amanda.
Wonderful.
Keep it?
Yeah. Okay. So explain, who wants to go first? Because I don't remember our order. Explain what you guys did exactly while you were away.
Sure. So we were gone for 2.5 weeks, and during that time, we had a couple of different places that we went and different opportunities that we served in. Our first stop was at AHI, which is the African Hospitality Institute, which is a very unique ministry. They've got a large number of people that apply for this program, but they have 20 students total. It's a 2-year program where they're taking students and teaching them how to serve and be employed in the hospitality industry. So everything from how to cook, how to serve, working in the lodging side of things. So what we did is we spent time on that campus, worked with students, worked with staff. Honestly, what we mostly did is let them serve us, which felt really strange at first, going on a mission trip and having 3 meals a day served to you very formally. But for them, it's practice. And so that it was important for us to be there for that reason. And then that ministry also plugged us into community-based opportunities in and around their campus. So, wow. And Amanda's got
it. We partnered with a few of the schools in the surrounding area. We had a primary school that had about 700 kids. Is that right? 700?
That's amazing.
And then their class sizes were like 100 plus, which was, yeah, it was crazy.
Any teachers in here? You like those 100 kids in a classroom?
There was a high school that we partnered with, and we went to a couple of their church services as well. And then there was another high school. It was a boys' school, and it was also like a higher education school that was like a real like competitive school, and they were all really smart, and it was free for them, so that was really cool. And then there was another primary school a little further out that we had to like take a little motor car to, and we helped mud the school. So we were just basically putting walls up on the school, making it cooler for these kids so that they can get an education. And then we also helped repair a borehole. And then along with the AHI students, we did some discipleship classes with them.
That's awesome. And then that was the first leg of your journey through AHI. And then the second leg, tell us about that, Ethan.
So during our second week, we went to the Moyo region, which is the very far north region of Uganda. It's right just a few kilometers away from South Sudan. So while we were there, we stayed with Karen Grubbs, who's a missionary there. We led a youth conference, led a women's conference. We went to 3 different churches and spoke. We went to a church and showed the Jesus film, and we also helped build a roof for a house. So even though we were there just a short period of time, we were able to accomplish a lot of different things.
Nice. So through that, tell me, you guys just share, what did you see God do while you were there?
For me in AHI, it was just the full transformations that were happening with all the students and their lives. We got to do some interviews with each of the students. Some of us got to do multiple interviews, but we just got to know them better, where they came from, what their lives were like before then. And in one of my interviews, I asked, well, what did you do before? And she just said, we just sat. Me and my family just sat in our home and waited for something to happen. And then she started talking about how she is now, and that she has friends and she's connecting with other students, and that she found a home there, and that she has purpose in her life, and she knows her life is going to be very different from what it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What did you see God do while you were there?
It was really cool just working with our team. I told my husband before I left, I don't know anyone really that well on this team, and we've grown so much together. We went deeper together, and it's been such a blessing to me. And then just working in the lives of people and just seeing them just experiencing things so differently than we do here. We have so much that we get distracted by our things so easily, and there they don't have very much, and they have so much joy, and it was just eye-opening for me.
Nice.
So in the Moyo region, it was amazing just to see how involved they were in their community, and how they show God's love through actions, whether it be building a house for a lady in need that was a widow that couldn't afford a house, or driving people to church, or feeding people. They're just always willing to serve others. So that was amazing to see.
That's awesome. Why don't you keep the mic and we'll just go around with everybody and talk about what did God do exactly in you during this trip?
So I was incredibly blessed to get to go on this trip. Last fall, I felt God calling me, speaking to me, telling me to go on this trip. Being in the active duty military, it's a very lengthy approval process, and it's very difficult to get approved to travel to that region. So throughout the whole process, just prayed, felt God calling me to go. So I said, doors already closed, but if this is your plan, just make everything happen. And continued, going through the process, doing all the training, getting everything approved, making all the payments. And I didn't know, I did that for several months and didn't know until 2 weeks before I left whether or not I was going to get to go. But that's just a testament of when God calls us to do something, just take a step in faith, and he'll do the rest.
That's good. That's good, Ethan.
One thing that I really took away from this trip is I get caught up a lot in what ministry is supposed to look like. And just that reminder and realization that ministry doesn't have to look any certain way. It's not coming to a big building. It's not speaking to the masses. We'll leave that to Joe. But just being obedient in the moment. If you're called to step out in something in the moment, that's what we're responsible for.
That's awesome.
God's responsible for the outcome and the rest. We just need to be obedient in the moment, and that's the ministry we're called to.
I love that. Top that.
Wow. Something for me personally, I got to see the power of discipleship and fellowship between people.
That's cool.
In my mind, it has always been you have your relationship with Jesus and you have your relationship with other people. And going there and seeing their community and how connected they all are, those two things should not be separate.
That's neat. Whoa.
For me, one of the things that really sunk in is we are here with these people and we are doing things, but tomorrow we're gone, and we don't always get to see the end. We don't always get to see what God does, and it was a really hard lesson for us, for me personally, to learn is we are starting stuff here. We are seeing things change, but we don't always get to see the end. We get to see God just follow it through.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Incredible trip, and you have some photos that you're going to show us. Before we look at the photos, I just want, because this group they're just really having a hard time right now, because before service, we were told we can't swivel in our chairs. So I want everybody to give our creatives a big swivel. Just go, everybody give it to them. Just so, hey, to you. Okay, you have some photos? That's all. That's all I was doing. You have some photos?
Yes. They'll be up there.
Now they're getting back at us for swiveling.
Yeah, right. They're like, haha, wait for your photos. Yeah. That is us at AHI. We are making a bread called shabati. The students are teaching us how to make the bread. Part of their training is making the bread, but also training other people to make bread.
That's awesome.
That is Justin. He is at I think he's at one of the schools in the area. I don't remember which one because I wasn't there. I was at another school at the same time. Oh, that's the youth conference in Moyo. He was speaking. I don't know how many people were there.
Probably
60 youth.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That is in the South Sudanese refugee camp. That's the church that they built there, and we were setting up to show a movie, and they started playing the drums, and Ethan got down on their level, started playing their drum, and then they started dancing, and we were all dancing with them. It was so much fun.
That's awesome.
We were putting the roof on the widow's house.
Okay, hold on a minute. Who's putting that on? Is that Ethan?
That's
right?
Ethan.
Ethan is
Yes.
working while Grant and Steve are supervising? What's happening? Steve's got his hands on his hip, like.
He was saying,
You're-
to the left. No,
Ethan,
go back to the right.
Ethan, please tell me he said you're doing it wrong. All right.
That is Justin and Grant. They are building the trusses for the roof that we were just putting up.
Yeah, that house.
Oh.
That's amazing.
That is at the primary school with the 700 kids.
Yes.
We were there like 3 or 4 times. I don't know if that was the time we went to read with them, or I think it was just playtime. If you can see, one of our people has a ball. But it was amazing because they would just come and like gather in huge masses around us. It was really fun.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Can we say thank you to this team for being the hands, you guys do, for being Jesus' hands and feet, right, out there, and just absolutely phenomenal. I loved hearing these stories, and there's so much more, right? We just got a little touch of that, but this is what we do in making a difference. This is the spirit and the culture of Eureka Faith Center, and it is to reach out to those who do not know Jesus Christ, to love the unlovely, and to do everything that we possibly can to share the good news of love, acceptance, and hope that Jesus offers.